Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Metamorph League. In this episode, it's another Delirium update with a little bit more minion support. We gotta always get our minion stuff in here. So let's start it off with a big shebang. My imagination, it's over 9,000. So let's get it started with this crazy jewel. 11 passive skills, each one gives 10% in for these travel nodes, 10% increased minion damage. You get Feasting Fiend, Skeletal Atrophy, and Vicious Bite in a jewel socket, so you can socket a medium inside this large. So then you can see here that Feasting Fiends is 10% increased maximum life for minions, 10% damage, and leech. So this would mean that the sacrifice wheel for leech isn't necessary, or the death attunement node for leech. You can get it through jewels, which opens up some insane new skill tree possibilities that literally wasn't possible before. Skeletal Atrophy is summon skeletons have 10% chance to wither enemies for 2 seconds on hit. That's crazy. Summon skeletons have 30% of fizz damage converted to chaos. So these chaos skellies you're saying, eh? Vicious Bite. Minions have 1 to minimum power charges. So this means that they will always have 1. So some base crit. Raise specters, raise zombies, and summon skeletons have 70% to crit strike multiplier. And so this is just a crazy crit buff and then I thought of some other ways to amplify this, but let me now show you guys what you thought, because I posted this on YouTube to see what the community thought of it. So I posted on YouTube, and you can see here that we had 32 likes. How many comments? 11. And let's see, I wonder how many people think these jewels give skill points and not simply new nodes to put them into. So that's a good point for anyone who doesn't know. Yeah, just this is just skill tree changes. It doesn't actually give you skill points, and so you have to take this over something on the skill tree. And then he pointed out there's ones that help sway in the direction of what I was talking about build wise. Race to the jewel sockets, branch off of those barring specific nodes could also mean certain jewelry anointments becoming more popular. And this is where I said, well, imagine that everyone's experience in Delirium is going to be different because of their own drops. And I actually feel like your skill tree, because of this jewel or jewels like this, you could then change your entire skill tree start based on the jewels you get, especially in SSF. Dude, okay, but I have played Zombie Mancer a lot this league. That's enough to me. He's Frost Sentinels, Chain, and Gloomfang. They're baiting us and they'll dunk Summoner hard. Nah, this is just a good buff. This guy's talking about the crit minions, crit zombies build. He wants to know how to scale them, so I said maybe a shield, maybe Consecrated Ground, Bottled Faith, and the reactions. Well, with the ability to add another cluster jewel, it will make it really juicy. Yes, very early, yes. Yeah, actual league starters and beginning builds will basically be the same as before. Sure, yes. Late game, end game, twinking builds where I was bringing up the idea of racing to jewel slots. But you get this right in, okay. You do get this before mapping though, so you would get this in leveling, and I wonder if these jewels will compete with the skill tree even through leveling. That's what I was getting at. But yeah, of course they're gonna affect later, but I'm just... We have to start before we can run. We have to walk before we can run. Can we use a jewel socket and use the skill point to take a node on the tree? Alright, and back to our presentation. So here we have a new div card. So you turn in 6 of the strategists. and you get an Inspired Learning Corrupted. So I put in here an Inspired Learning, what it looks like, and then I put what it actually does. So with 4 notables allocated in radius, when you kill a rare monster, you gain one of its modifiers for 20 seconds. So this is a really, really, really powerful jewel that's been used in combination with Headhunter and these buff stealing builds for a long time, and so another way to get one of the top items in the game. Awesome. PogChamp, super cool. You can drop these, they're probably going to be worth a lot compared to trying to farm the jewels. You can farm the div if you can farm this anywhere specifically. That would be neat. Add this to the seg deck, right? Arcane Cloak. So this I will sum up for you guys because there's a lot of stuff to read here, but basically I'll just give you some key points. Guard skill. Cooldown doesn't recover during the thing like Molten Shell. This is based on mana. Okay, so then it's based on unreserved mana, 75%. Whoops. Based of the damage taken, and it's blocked just like Steel Skin or Molten Shell. And then it's based on how much mana. It also gives lightning damage. And then it talks about how this is really cool and can increase damage and tankiness. Basically, from what I got was, if you're going to be a mana build, hey, you have this defensive thing to scale instead of armor or nothing. So that's really cool. Finally, we have a mana item. Mana guard skill. Okay, next. Stormbind. Stormbind is a level 28 channeling spell that works in a fashion that's similar to mine's. So the way I understood this is you just channel, it makes these spots on the ground. It hinders. So hinder is a slow and of 30%, and then it'll increase the area and increase the damage based on how much mana you spend. And then it can also teleport you to the end of it at the end of the teleport. At the end of the cast, kind of like Charge Dash. If you've ever used Charge Dash, this looks very similar to that, except it's an all-in-one. In the past, we had to run Charge Dash, Cast While Channeling, Ball Lightning. This is like all of that in one. It's pretty insane. And because of its various components, Stormbind can be used in several ways, either as a single layer to hinder enemies, a sizable blast for your foes, or as an option for movement, or all of them. Because of the way it scales, you'll be rewarded for having a high mana cost and fast cast speed, as these allow the runes to be upgraded quickly into a higher capacity. Yeah, so I'm imagining instant teleporting, instant big damage, and you're just flying across the screen. Hey, if you're unsubscribed, well, you should subscribe and hit that little bell. Click. Archmage Support. This is a support to basically increase or to change the way your skills work, and it will change it to a % mana cost, and then based on how much mana you're using with this skill, it'll do more damage for the spell through lightning damage. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not sure how this will affect, like, minions. I don't think it'll work. This is more for skills, for spells, and I think the example is the Arc in their video. Now I'll show you the video. Whoa! Whoa! Okay. Oh! Oh! Damn! That's the move! That's it, boys! Fuck Charge Dash! That's the one they're the most proud of. And we're back from the video. Spectre buffs. What will be the best Spectre? That's the question to come from this change. So, basically, to sum up this big post, it's all in the beginning. We added 350 new monster types to the pool of possible monsters which can be used for Spectres. That means, guys, that you thought it was slave drivers, you thought it was this and that and whatever. Go try 350 new monsters, and then we'll figure out what the best Spectre is. So this is one of the craziest buffs that they've ever done to Spectres. What? It's absolutely insane, dude. It's hard to comprehend, dude. That's huge. So we can literally play Spectres all season long. And also, it said outside of these small improvements right here, outside of these small improvements, they remain relatively unchanged from their delightfully monstrous states. What the? Okay, dude. Movement skills. This one's weird. It was basically trying to make things compete with Flame Dash, and so they created Second Wind, and Second Wind adds right here, support adds an additional cooldown count to skills that already have a cooldown, except excluding instant or trigger skill. Yeah, so this means you can use them one extra time before the cooldown prevents their use. So this is how you're gonna make Blink, Arrow, Dash, or 4 uses of Flame Dash or Smoke Mine. Oh, because you know how you have three uses of Flame Dash and Smoke Mine? Well, you only have one of Blink, Arrow, and Dash, so then you'd get an extra one, which is actually huge. They'd make them more like Flame Dash, being able to use them in quicker succession because you have them saved up instead of having to wait for the cooldown every time. So that would be huge. And so it's designed to improve the travel skills and encourage investment into them. Then they mentioned down here are some of the changes we made. Dash, Frost Blink, Flame Dash, Lightning Warp. So Dash gains travel distance as it levels. Yeah, it was too short before. And you can travel super long distances in a short time. Frost Blink, that's the second one. Frost Blink now deals damage and places chilled ground at both the start and the end. Oh, okay, instead of what was it before? The beginning? And counts enemies at both areas to reduce its cooldown. Whoa! This makes it great for moving into and out of a fight. It also travels further than before. And whoa! Can't be supported by second one because it's instant. To compensate, it has received more improvements than other skills mentioned. That's why. Okay. Flame Dash has its yeah, this is fine. They just increase the cooldown recovery speed so that it doesn't get its charges back as quickly, but it still has 3 charges and it's still instant. Lightning Warp has had its cast time lowered and has a higher value of reduced skill effect duration. This makes it easier to invest in, but still requires more character investment than other movement skills as a trade-off for having no cooldown. What? No built-in cooldown, so then you can do actual Lightning Warp damage builds? Okay. It's worth noting that Blink Arrow hasn't received any changes, but works well with the Second Wind support. So Second Wind support was the one where it adds a second charge. Alongside Dash, you can have a very mobile bow-based character. Travel attacks also haven't been changed at this time, but we'd like to add more attack movement diversity in the future. That's pretty cool. That's pretty good. So you have 2 Blink Arrows. Can you have 2 clones then? Here we have what I defined as Curse Aurabot Skitterbots, because I imagine you slot this in both rings, and now your Skitterbot chilling one is applying the curse of this Skitterbot of the ring, and then your other one will also apply another curse, so you could have 2 curses for free from your Skitterbots just because you wear these rings, and it gives 3 levels. This is a pretty unique ring, dude. You literally can't do this without the ring. So this is super cool, and I like to see things like this. This is what defines builds, dude. This is so cool. So why wouldn't that happen, right? Thank you to my Patreon and YouTube members who financially support the channel, and thank you guys for all the support. And I couldn't do this without you guys, and it's actually been insane to think about. Reflecting on how much support you guys have given me, all I can do is thank you. Appreciate it a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!